Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Knit Sibs podcast, a podcast by three yarn-obsessed sisters. I'm Juli.
I'm Valerie.
And I'm Gloria.
And we are, today is January 6th, so we just celebrated the holidays and everything. So let's get started with what's off your needles, because I know there's some Christmas presents in there. So Gloria, you want to start?
Sure. Well, I finally finished my test knit, the Gutter Flower Shawl by Katie DeGroff, and it was gifted to Julie's daughter. So Julie has it there. I didn't take any pictures. Well, I took some pictures of it blocking, but I didn't take good staged pictures of it, so I don't really have good pictures of it. So Julie, you're gonna have to take pictures of Kaylee wearing it.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures and I'll insert them somewhere in here.
Yeah, because I don't if I know I'm giving it as a gift, I don't like to take pictures of me modeling it if I know I'm gonna give it as a gift. So I didn't take any of those pictures either.
Yeah.
But I really like how it came out. I actually still have to email her with some changes that I made when I was making it. So, and I have to post some good pictures on Ravelry. So still have to do that, but I hear she likes it. So
she does. She's a knit-worthy child. So
has she worn it yet?
Not yet, but she's still kind of wearing her new Christmas outfits to school. So she hasn't figured out what she's going to wear it with yet.
Well, it's got a lot of different colors in it, so it'll go with a lot of different things.
Yes, so, definitely.
Yeah. I think that's it for off my needles.
Okay. Val, what do you have off your needles?
I have no. So this is the Gnome Knit Along 8, I think it was. Right, the 8th one, by Imagine Landscape in Emma's Yarn. I made 2 of these. One was given to my daughter and one was given to my mom. This is my mom's. My daughter already has hers. But that little thing that we thought might have been a bag turned out to be a backpack. And then we made another little gnome to go in the backpack. And it is just the cutest thing I've ever seen. It was absolutely adorable.
It is adorable.
So, and my daughter was very excited to get one. She definitely wanted one and she was happy to get it. And these are so super cute. So this was my first time making them, and it uses a weighted stuffing on the bottom and then regular stuffing on top. So I stuffed it with roving because I didn't have polyfill. And I could have stuffed it a little bit more. It said to lightly stuff the hat and then more firmly stuff the body, but I think I just stuffed everything a little too lightly. So lesson learned, but the little baby gnome I stuffed better. So that was my first off the needles. And then my second, which I don't have here because it's been gifted, was the Musselburgh hat for my son. So we had posted a picture of that, or Julie posted a picture of that on our Instagram feed of me knitting it in the car on the way to see him. And then I think that was Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. And then all day on Christmas Eve, I knit it in front of him, with him in the same room. And he didn't realize that it was the same yarn for his scarf, but he said he loves it. It's been cold and snowing where he goes to school. So he said he's been wearing it outside and it's nice and warm and it keeps his ears warm, even in the cold upstate winter. So I'm excited that he's happy and he's wearing it.
Yeah. Very nice.
And I think those are my only 2 off the needles. I feel like I knit so many things and finished so many things, but really it was 4 little gnomes and a hat. So that's why it felt like it was so many things. It was so many pieces.
The gnomes were a lot more knitting than I expected.
Yeah.
I
was getting a little anxious at the end because I was making 2 of them and I was giving them as Christmas gifts to people I was seeing on Christmas morning. And also I did knit these in front of my mom and my daughter on Christmas Eve as well. And they didn't notice or ask what I was knitting. I think everyone's just used to me always working on something. So they didn't ask what it was. But I was getting a little worried that I wasn't going to finish. Mm-hmm. But they're adorable and I will make her next one.
Yeah, me too. Well, if she does another Advent knit along one, I'll make it.
Mhm.
You're not gonna get the Year of Gnomes?
I'm not.
So I think the Year of Gnomes is you just buy yarn, like coordinating yarn, and then you make all of her already released
Right.
patterns
Oh, okay.
in one unified color palette. So it's not new. It's not a new pattern every month. It's
Oh,
pre-existing
okay.
patterns in one palette.
Yeah.
But some of those color palettes are pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was tempted because there's a few of her patterns that I really want to make. Like there was one with like a cable up the hat and it looked really pretty. But then I was like, how many gnomes do I really need? I'm not much of a tchotchke decorating type person. So I'm just gonna make them to make them, which I legitimately do a lot with my making, but I don't know. I can't imagine displaying them all somewhere or something, but who knows? I might get the gnome bug again and decide to knit more later.
They were so cute.
They were. Yeah, so
How
my
about
finished
you?
objects, I did 2 gnomes as well. One of them I gifted to our sister-in-law, and she liked it a lot. And then the other one,
She really wanted one. So.
yeah. Yeah, she opened it up and she's like, it's a gnome, and she was all excited. And then the other one I already packed away with our Christmas stuff. So if you can see, we're in the middle of packing our Christmas stuff. That's part of our tree. So yeah, I started packing and then my husband left on a trip, so I can't get the rest of the tree apart. So it's just sitting there waiting to be packed up. So the gnome's already packed up, so you'll have to see it next Christmas, or I will take a picture and put it in. I'm sure I have a picture of it. I have another finished object. Let me see, yeah.
Ooh.
Yay.
Those
So
look
these are the
great.
socks knit from our hand-dyed sock blank. And these are gonna go to our mom. Is she there? Did she hear me?
She's in the other room.
Okay, so these are gonna go to our mom next time I see her. And they are, I don't even remember so it was a knit pick sock blank. I don't remember what the base was anymore, but it's super soft.
I think there were were there 2 different bases, or did we have all the same bases for the sock blanks?
I think they were all the same base for the sock blank.
Well, I happen to have it in my bag.
Oh, perfect.
Mine was a stroll sock blank.
Okay.
Stroll.
What's the makeup of it?
75% superwash merino, 25% nylon.
Okay. Because they feel so soft, I almost thought they didn't have nylon or something. Like they're super soft.
So did we dye, so the toes are darker, so did we dye darker on one end of the blank than the other?
I don't even think it was one end. I think it was just the middle. So the sock blank turned out, I didn't realize it when I bought it. It was a double stranded one, so they kind of match. And I have quite a bit left over, so I think this was just like a splotch somewhere towards the middle. But I think they turned out awesome. I love them.
Look good.
Pretty great.
I love them, but I am slightly concerned about how they're going to wear, just because they feel so soft. Usually when they're soft, they're not as durable.
They're 25% nylon. It should be fine.
So it should be fine.
Yeah.
Unless this is a different base, I don't know. And then I have another pair of finished socks. So this I decided to do.
Machine.
I know, I am, but I didn't do anything else. Once the gnome make along ended, I didn't want to start anything big right away because I had a New Year's Eve cast on planned. So I had like a week before I had anything else I really wanted to work on. So this is a pair of scrappy socks.
Ooh.
And this is a homespun house yarn. She did a mini skein set called Collecting Horcruxes, and it's a Harry Potter inspired yarn. And each color is a different Horcrux from the Harry Potter movies. And I didn't want it to just be striped, so I tried to add a little bit of detail in there. When I changed colors, I did like a slip stitch thing. And I wish I had done that other places. Like I wish I had done just a random slip stitch in the middle or something like that, or every few rows, just to give it a little bit more texture or something. I like stripy socks and scrappy projects, but this is like really big stripes. Like it's not like your usual small ones. So I wish I had done a little bit more to add a little bit more interest to them, but I still like them. They're super pretty. I'm happy I used that set. I'm very, I don't know, OCD, whatever, about keeping my sets together. So this mini skein set, I couldn't imagine what else I would do with it because the colors are great, especially this one on the top, this first stripe.
It looks like I have a Bellatrix socks
Oh, really?
that are like black, white, gray, and yellow.
Yeah,
They look
yeah,
like that, yeah.
yeah. This, if I could get a full skein of this one, I would, because I love this color. The yellow's not quite coming through. I mean, even in person right now, I can't see it so great because it's nighttime, but so the colors, they don't blend together. It's not a fade or anything. So it's not like I would have made a cowl out of it or anything like that. So I'm glad I used them all together in a project. So that I think is all my finished objects.
So I have a question for you, Julie.
Yeah.
Are you actually blocking those socks, or do you just have them on those things for fun?
They're just for taking pictures.
And like, do you ever need to block socks?
I never block my socks. I mean, you can if you want to, just to make them look pretty. But like for me, so I wear hand knit socks every day that I'm wearing socks. Like in the summer, I don't wear socks, but once I start wearing socks again, I wear hand knit socks every day. And I just throw them in the washing machine. When they're done in the washing machine, I take them out and hang them on a dryer, like a drying rack. And that's all I do. As long as you like kind of flatten them out, like if you put them on the drying rack like this, they'll be fine. So you just have to line it up and not put it on the drying rack all, crumpled up, and they're fine. So all my socks though are superwash. So I guess if you don't have superwash, probably don't put them in the washing machine. But
why would you make socks not superwash?
Well, a lot of people like to just do everything not superwash. It's a.
I guess maybe you can make like slipper socks.
Yeah. So.
Because I was debating getting like sock blockers, but I'm like, do I really need to block my socks?
No.
Like, yeah. I didn't.
The only reason I have them is take pictures, make them look pretty.
So maybe I should get them just to take pictures.
Yeah, it's worth it.
They look pretty.
It's worth it for taking pictures. I wish I had gotten. So I got these back when I lived in Virginia, which was like 20 years ago. And I wish I had gotten like the cool, like they have cool like metal ones now. It's just like the outline of a sock in metal. But this Fiber Trends one that all the stores sell was the only one you could get back then. Sock knitting was not nearly as big as it is now.
And do they come in sizes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a medium one. Okay. And it fits my size 7.5 to 8 socks really well. So yeah, so I think that's the end of our needles. I'm gonna let someone else tell me what's off, or no, what's off your needles. That's the end of off our needles. I'm gonna let someone else tell us what's on the needles. So I can mute for a second because my kids are making noise.
I'll tell you first.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I have my first on my needles is the Colorscape cowl in Koiga. This is what the pattern looks like. And this is yarn that Juli got me for Christmas. And that's what it looks like so far. So it looks a little darker on my computer. I don't know what it looks like on your computer, but it looks a little darker on my computer than it is in real life. But it came as a dozen mini skeins on this zip tie. So could use it for kidnapping later or something. So it was a dozen mini skeins and I only have 4 left. So I feel like I've made a lot of progress I haven't been spending as much time knitting as I used to, so I get things done very slowly. So I have 4 more to go. So I feel like it'll be,
pretty
nice and
fast,
cozy.
actually.
It'll squish up. So, and this is it's like a faux rib. Let's see.
Okay.
It's like a faux rib pattern. And I happen to have grabbed another pair of socks. Well, a pair of socks, not another pair of socks, because I haven't finished a pair of socks in a very long time. And these were a pair of socks that I'm knitting also in a faux rib. So the yarn is from Mud Punch. I follow her on Instagram, and she does all self-striping yarns. I think that's pretty much all she does is self-striping sock yarn. And I got this in 2019, and I started it as soon as I got the yarn. And I don't think I finished a pair of socks since then. So
Really?
I have a pair of socks that I literally started in 2018, and I don't even have like the leg done yet.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, so I trying to get these done because my husband prefers to wear hand knit socks as well. He really likes them, and he's been complaining that all of the socks I already knit him, he's like wearing out, and he needs new ones to replace them. And I really should learn how to mend socks. And actually, my son has a hole in a pair of his socks too that he's supposed to bring down for Christmas, so I could figure out how to mend them or give to Juli to mend. And he forgot to bring them. But yeah, he's been making noise that he needs new socks. So I'm trying to finish these. So I'm up to the heel on my first sock. So I'm excited about that. And that's all I have on my needles right now.
All right, Gloria, what do you have?
I have a few things. I don't know how many you want me to go through today, but I have the
Whatever
first
you're
thing.
actively working on is appropriate.
A lot of things I'm actively working on. The first thing is the baby blanket, the crocheted baby blanket. I think I showed this a while ago. But I picked it back up because she's due in January. It's January 6th, so I figure I should finish it. But the thing is, so this is the beginning of it. And you can see like the colors kind of, worked and shifted very well. Then I got to the second skeins, and it's like striping instead of like blending.
Yeah.
It's like striping because the way the colors are lining up, like they're switching colors at the exact same spots.
You're gonna
And
have
it's
to just
going-
go forward on one
Yeah.
of the skeins.
I'm not doing that. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But like, because it's changing colors at the exact same spots, and then they're like exactly opposite. So it's like one skein is turning to red and one skein is turning to yellow, and then the next skein, the red turns to yellow and the yellow turns to red. So it's like I'm getting stripes of the same colors.
Yeah.
Working with each other. So that's a little bit annoying. It is starting to break up a little bit here in the spot that I'm in now, where it's not like this is like a complete like stripe of color here, but this one it's starting to like it is starting to break up a little bit. But I'm almost done. Like I have like 3 rows left, and then I'm gonna put the border on. So I'm just gonna leave it as is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But that is the Karen cotton cakes. And then once I finish this one, my husband's coworker, his wife is also pregnant, and I was planning on making them a blanket too. Same idea, same concept, different colors. So then once I finish this one, I have to start the next one. But the next one is actually my husband's coworker is actually the guy who did our theme music. So it's a little present for John, who made our theme music for our podcast here.
Thank you, John.
For him and his wife. I know they subscribe. I don't think they watch, but I know he subscribes. So that is my my baby blanket knitting. Next thing that I recently picked up that I hadn't touched in quite some time is my Shawlography. So very exciting Shawlography knitting going on. So I don't even remember where I was last time I showed it. What's that?
You were not far into it.
No, but I think I was here. I think I was in the yellow and the gray. So this was that the beginning there. And then I had my I-cord loops. Then there's this row here, this like calls it like the welts, but it's like it's the dark gray like stripe here.
Mhm.
And what you do is like you actually knit like 10 rows of the same color. And then you like, it like bunches up on itself. So you take like, when you knit the next row, you pick up stitches in the back from the first row. So it like folds itself in half. And then there's this like drop stitch thing that makes these little like indents there. So that row took like probably 2 hours to do, that one row, to pick up all the things from the row below. Then it's this triangle section here, the red and the white triangle section, which is like a slip stitch thing. Then there's the gold bobbles.
There's so much going on in that shawl.
I know, these things were like a pain in the butt to make. And that took forever too, that row. Then I did one side wedge. So there's like these striped like wedge things there, and I'm going to do another one on the other side. So there's going to be another one on the other side, and it's going to be like live stitches in the middle, and then you pick up all the way across. You knit all the way across. Then after the second wedge, you knit all the way across. But I mean, my colors again are a little bit like, I have the couple color pops with the red and the gold, but my colors were a little bit more, subdued than Juli's colors were. So I think they're playing together pretty well. But yes, there's a lot going on in this thing. Like I laid it out like, across my legs when I was working on the couch, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like every row is like, every little section is something different. But I will say it definitely keeps you very engaged.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's like you're constantly doing something different, and there's some new technique, and it's very interesting. So I like that aspect of it, that you're always doing something different. But I can't see myself doing a lot of these types of things. Like,
yeah, right now I want something very repetitive.
Yeah. And sometimes I want something just very repetitive, and it's very busy. Like it looks very busy.
Yeah.
Although I probably will do the slip extravaganza, so last year's knit along that I do have a kit for, but I never did. So I probably will still do that.
That's not as crazy as this one, though. I mean, that one's more of a overall pattern for part of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I have the hybrid knit along from last year. I had gotten that kit too, and I didn't finish that one either. But I'm gonna finish those ones, and I feel like they're all kind of the same. Like the last year's hybrid knit along has a very similar type of thing going on up here, and then it's got the honeycombs, and it's got these little drop stitch thing section. So I feel like I feel like last year he had a lot of shawls that had similar, kind of themes to them, and concepts and techniques. But I think after that I might take a break from Stephen West for a little while. There is another one that I want to make, but it's like completely different than these ones here.
Yeah.
So. And then I can show you quickly. I think I'll just show you one. I'm just going to show you one of my Advent, because I did work on those a little bit. I went away for a few days after Christmas. I had a lot of knitting time. So I will show you one of those. I'll show you my Flora days. I didn't get as much done on my go-go throw, just because it requires a lot more concentration.
Yeah.
But I can show you my Flora days. Get it untangled here. So I managed to open one skein of yarn every day until like the 23rd. And then on the 23rd, I was like, I want to wind these into balls, because I was hand winding them into balls, and that was getting really annoying, and it was getting really hard to keep track of what color was what. So I wanted to wind them into skeins, because I've been doing this lately with skeins. One of these little those light bulb
Yep.
stitch marker things. I use that to attach the color because I've been doing a lot of like mini skein things so you can see the number of it and everything. So that's how I've been
It's a good
like
idea.
tagging them to keep track of it all. So I wanted to do that. So on the 23rd, I ended up opening the last two and winding everything into balls so I could take it with me. But this is my, I don't know if you
No, you got a lot done, and those colors are great.
It's beautiful. So what day are you up to?
This is 10.
That's it? I think it's gonna be huge.
Well, I think it's going to be really long, but like I said, I'm still concerned about the width of it. I'm still, because it's not, it's, you know, I want it to be a little bit wider, and
Yeah.
I feel like it is going to stretch out a lot when I block it. But right now it's not very wide. So I don't know.
So maybe it'll have to be a multiple wraparound one instead or something.
Yeah, or you know, it'll be more of a scarf than a shawl.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, like I said, I think it will get wider when I block it. But it's not very wide right now, and that's my concern. Again, if I had gotten the fingering weight, I think it would have been spectacular. But I'm not, I mean, you know, I'm not disappointed with it at all, but I don't think I will do a DK weight advent set again.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. I only, other than socks, which I really don't show much until I'm done, I don't have much else on the needles right now except for my one new project. This was my New Year's Eve cast on. I am making the Tri-Gradient Shawl by Stephen West. And I am using
Stephen West episode.
It is.
Yeah.
I am using Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the colorway Flannel and Spin Cycle in the colorway Close Call.
That's
I
a
love
nice
both of those
color.
yarns.
Yeah.
So pretty.
And so Tri-Gradient Shawl, let me see if I have a picture. Yeah. Tri-Gradient Shawl is that one, and it's got along one edge a brioche line, and then in the corner there's more brioche, and then it's like a garter in the middle. And so this is what I have so far. This is technically the right side, so the shelter is the more dominant on this side, and then this is the wrong side. And
Can you wear it with the wrong side out?
I'm gonna wear it the wrong side out because that's awesome looking.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see when it's done and when it's blocked. Like this will be my first real brioche project because I didn't finish the Shawlography. So that would have been my first real brioche thing. So this is my first brioche now. And so I don't know what it's gonna look like when it blocks. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to pull it and aggressively block it or lightly block it, but when you aggressively block this side, it's far more colorful and looks almost like feathery.
Yeah, it does.
And I like
Yeah,
that.
but I'm not sure you're supposed to really pull brioche.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to watch some videos on it. I'm sure Stephen West does some sort of a blocking brioche video.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of the stripe of brioche that goes all along the side. And then the very beginning of the garter is starting to work in there. And on the wrong side, or on the right side, there's the garter part.
It's gonna look really
That's
good.
it. That's all I've got on my needles. I mean, I have my other projects I haven't touched, but this is the only thing I'm kind of actively working on. And I haven't even actively worked on it much. This was like 2 days worth of work, and then it went back in the bag because my husband's traveling, so it's me and the kids, and I can't think when it's just me and the kids for the week. So I've just been knitting on socks. So that's it. I think that's the end of our On Your Needles. So next is our In the Spotlight, and I grabbed something for that, if you guys don't mind. Did anyone else have something for it this week? Okay. So I have just dropped my book. I have a set of accessories I made out of hand spun yarn that I wear, and it's like It's like clown vomit, but I love it so much. So this is the first
But
thing
you wouldn't make the Shawlography in your crazy colors.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, whatever. This is handspun. Handspun is different. So this is the first item I made. All right, so this is the Standing Rock hat by Lavanya Patricella. And this is in handspun from Mad Color Fiber Arts. She had a Fiber of the Month club based on Doctor Who. And this was, I don't remember if the colors had names or not, but this was her June Hooniverse, I think it was called, colorway. And so first thing I made was this hat, and it's crazy. And I love it, and I love my crazy pom-pom. So I had this and I wore it all the time. It fits amazing. I just love the way it fits. So I would wear it all the time. And then I decided I can't wear it with any of my other knitted objects because nothing matches even closely. And the dyer, I think, went out of business. I can't find her anymore. So then I had this other set of hand spun. So this is from Into the World, and the colorway is called Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, which is another Doctor Who thing. And so I decided to make this is called the Strider by Martina Bain, and it is a scarf, I guess, but it's pointed in the front and then goes to this little mitered corner on each end, and you wear it with the thing in the front, wrap it around, and it's like an equal amount of crazy to go with the hat, so I think they somewhat go together.
They go together. They work. The colors work.
I embarrass my kids when we go out in public. And then I had enough left over to make mittens to go with it too. So I made mittens, and this is the same Into the World Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey. And this is the Tin Can Knits World's Simplest Mittens is the name of the pattern. And oh my God, I love handspun. I mean, the way it marls and it barber poles and and it's so soft. I love it. Love it, love it. So that's my crazy accessories.
I keep saying I'm gonna spin and knit myself a whole accessory set, and then I haven't. Like, I'll spin the yarn and I'll give like a piece of it to someone, or I'll make something, or I really need to prioritize that this year.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's our In the Spotlight. So
nice.
Next up is In Your Dreams. Val, do you have any future knitting or yarn purchases you want to admit to, or anything like that?
So on Christmas Day, I think we talked about it in the last episode. On Christmas Day, Hugh Loco was re-releasing all of her mini skein sets for her birthday sets. She does like a birthday set each month based on the your birthstone. And Gloria and I both really wanted the November set after the fact. Like we didn't like covet it when it first came out, but then when we started seeing pictures of it knit up or crocheted up afterwards, we really wanted it. So I did get that on Christmas Day. So I just got the shipping notification yesterday, so I was excited. So I plan on making the juniper cowl with that. So that'll be a crocheted cowl. So that was probably the biggest yarn purchase I've made recently. But then also on Christmas, so when my kids were little, I had made them both Santa hats and scarves, a red one for my daughter and a green one for my son, and they wore them for 5 minutes and then they had no interest in them. So after ignoring them for years, my husband decided he was going to start wearing these hats and scarves. So he took the Santa hat and scarves that I made for like little kids at the time, and he's been like shoving them on his head, and they look cute enough. So my husband's wearing a hand knit Santa hat at Christmas, and my son's like, oh, whatever happened to that green one that you made when I was little? And it's all stretched out of shape, and it's like, it's when I was like a new knitter, and I really didn't use decent yarns, and they're all like pulling apart, and it's really, nothing is in good shape. So yesterday I did order yarn to make new Santa hats and scarves. I wound up ordering just 3 skeins of yarn because I did the Cascade Eco Wool. So the Cascade Eco Wool is like a 417 yard skein or something like that. And it's a bulky yarn. So I'm hoping that I can get out of 1 skein of green. I got 1 skein of green, 1 skein of red, and then like a neutral. I can't remember if I did the natural or the ecru, but it was like a off-white. So I'm hoping that I can get a hat and a scarf out of just 1 skein. And then the white is only going to be used for pom-poms. So there'll be like the brim of the hat in white, and then the pom-pom, and then the scarf will just be probably some kind of like a seed stitch or something like that with pom-poms on the end. So hopefully I'll have enough yarn to do that. I'll just make the hats first, and then the scarves will just be whatever they are.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking if I get the yarn now and I'm like motivated, maybe I'll be able to get the knitting done now. That way it's something that I'm not scrambling to do
Yeah.
in, the last 5 minutes of Christmas Eve.
Yeah. And maybe they'll get them a little earlier and be able to wear them for the Christmas season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lofty goal. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm still knitting socks from 2019, so we'll see
Yeah.
what actually happens, but that's my plan.
Sounds good.
How about you, Gloria?
Well, I have a few things. So I ended up buying the Spun Right Round set that I wanted for the Tiff Nealon Sun and Soul. So it's still in the plastic, but like it's like a marled. So and I bought the pattern, and it's like these 2 are the same color, like these are the same color skein, and then there's 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 skeins but 4 colors. And you start with like 2 strands of color 1 held together, and then like you drop 1 and then you pick up color 2, but then like there's a point where you do like color 3 and color 1 together, so like it kind of like the colors kind of all like change throughout.
Yeah.
But I did start, and I didn't show it, with my On the Needles. I started the Tiff Nealon Artist's Garden like blanket shawl. And I'm making it like super scrappy, like it's one of those like 2 strands held together, but it's actually you're working 4 strands at the same time because you knit each row twice. So it's like it's kind of like brioche where you knit each row twice, but it's like it's not brioche, like you're just regular knitting, but you knit each row twice. I've never done anything like this before, but like, so you're holding the yarn double, and then you're knitting each row twice. So you're using 2 different strands, which a strand is actually 2 strands held together. So there's like, you're working like 4 strands of yarn at the same time. So, and I'm making it like super scrappy.
So what is it like? I'll have to pick up a picture and put it in here or something. I'm trying to picture what is it like is it super scrunchy, or like what is the
it's
result?
Like, yeah, it's like super squishy.
Yeah.
And like there's different like stitch patterns, because one of them is like this slip stitch pattern, and then another one is like you're doing like a knit one, slip one with the yarn in front, but you're doing it with the yarn in back, so it actually ends up like with like a strand of yarn across the front, and it makes like it's like a really nice stitch pattern. But like some of my skeins were like, they felt bigger than they were, like it was like a small ball of like leftover yarn. I'm like, why won't this color change yet? Like I wanted the color to change. And then I have some like larger like leftover skeins of things that I was like, oh, if I like if that one kind of goes for longer, and then I'll have these smaller ones that I'm like that are changing in between. So I'm working on that. But my point was, I was looking at the like the patterns, and I forget which pattern it was, if it was the Artist Garden shawl or if it was the Sun and Soul shawl, that she said not to wet block. And that's why I said, I don't know if you're supposed to really stretch out brioche, because she said, because it's held double and it's like, there's garter stitch sections, and she's like, if you wet block it and stretch it out, you're going to lose the squishiness of it. Like it's going to stretch it out too much and you're going to lose the squishiness of it. So she recommends to do like a light steam blocking. Yeah, that's the Artist Garden shawl. Let me see if I have any pictures of mine on my phone that might show up a
Well,
little
just
bit better.
email it to me and or text it to me and I'll put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of texture for sure. It looks like it's going to be super squishy.
Yeah, I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, but it's like, well, I feel like last time my picture showed up pretty nice.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'll text you a picture.
Yeah.
So now I want to, what's also in my dreams is I wanted a new set of the
Interchangeable needles.
I wanted the Chia Goo. What?
Choi Goo.
Choi Goo.
Yeah.
But I got some money for Christmas, but I decided to put that towards the trip that I took after Christmas. So what I'm doing is I am saving all of my credit card points to use on Amazon. So I can't get the needles until I have enough points. And I have 0 points right now because I used them all for Christmas shopping. So I want a new set of interchangeable needles, and I want a garment steamer.
I feel like this is just going to encourage more Amazon shopping.
Wait, interchangeable needles, and what's the other thing you want to get?
A garment steamer.
Oh, so I had
Like
a little,
steam
yeah,
block.
you do need a garment steamer. So I have purchased several of them, and as my kids go away to college, they take them with them. But yeah, you absolutely need a steamer.
Yeah.
So I need to buy
I
a new
don't know if
one.
you guys follow Knititude on Instagram, and she had this, she does this whole thing on steam blocking, and she had like recommended a steamer, so I think I put it on my wish list, so that I'm saving also for credit card points.
So I bought the same set of interchangeable needles. I had them on my wish list for Christmas, and I was kind of hoping my husband would get them for me, and he didn't. But he got me some awesome stuff, so I'm not complaining. But I am going to have to buy myself the interchangeable needles because I'm using Knit Picks ones from like the beginning of time. And they're all like the cables are coming apart and the joints aren't nice.
Yeah, my cables are coming apart, and like I have my size 5 needles are like the nickel is like wearing off. So I just wanted a new set. And then I also did buy the November mini set on Christmas Day.
I set an alarm for that.
Oh yeah, I did too. My husband actually bought it for me because he got me something for Christmas and then it went on sale, so they gave him like difference back. So he's like, I have extra money. So he bought me the set. But I'm debating, I want to make the juniper cowl. But when I made the one for Mom, I also bought a Koigu pencil box for myself. So do I make two? Do I make 2 juniper cowls for myself, or do I make something different with one of them?
Make something different with one of them.
Yeah.
So,
but I would make the juniper cowl in the November birthday set because it was
so then what do I do with my Koigu pencil box?
Conversation for another time. We'll figure it out.
And then the last thing that I bought was I got a gift card to 4 Pearls, which is my new favorite yarn shop, even though it's in Florida and I live in New York. So I got a gift card to 4 Pearls, and I bought the a kit for the, I don't know how to say it, Gravilia shawl by Amba O'Brien. It's a very lacy shawl, and I think it was originally made with a Koigu pencil box.
So no, you already have another kit for it.
But then I have to get coordinating skeins to go with it, because you like it's like this. Juli can put up a picture of it. But so you get like 2 full skeins, and then you have this like set of mini skeins that go with it. So I don't know what to make. And then I got one of these from Juli too, and I have to see what yours looks like when you finish it, because I don't know if I want to make that one.
I really like it. When I first looked at it,
there was a different cowl that I was thinking of making with it, but then I wanted to make, because the leftovers from the shawl that I made for Kaylee, the leftovers of the test knit, I have like 9 grams left of each of those 12 contrast colors. So I'm like, I can make something with this. So I wanted to make one of the Amber O'Brien cowls. Like, she made one of her that year that she did all the adventure advent stuff. Yeah, she made one of those into a cowl that I was like, I think I'll have enough of those, like, of the leftover scraps to like make a cowl up, because I really love those colors. And but I ended up giving the shawl to Kaylee. But I love those colors, and I'm like, I have enough left over to make something out of it. So I wanted to make that cowl out of it, but then I want to make that cowl out of this. And again, I don't want 2 of the same cowl in different colors. So I need.
Just make the color scape with the Koigo, because it is so satisfying to just knit with a couple of
I
pearls.
don't like that, like, there's no shaping to it. Like the juniper cowl really, like, I really liked that it was like more narrow, and then it gets bigger. Like this one, I feel like it doesn't have any shaping to it. So it's like,
that'll be all right.
Just let it sit for a while and simmer. You'll find something.
I need to find small projects I can make with tiny little mini skeins, teeny tiny. These like
these tiny little mini skeins. I love that they came like already wound. That is the best thing in the world. I was like, oh, I happen to have the needles. It was the same needles I used for my son's hat. I finished the hat Christmas morning, and then I got these later in the day, and I was able to just cast on like that same day. I was like, this is perfect.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, I didn't have to look for a pattern. It was there. It was attached. It was
but I don't know if I
nice and easy and simple.
But I don't want to make the same pattern twice. But I need more patterns, more like small projects.
I'm sure you'll come across some, and there will be like a set for sale, and you could say, wait, no, I've already got something I can use. You don't have to plan it all out right now.
But I want to plan it all out.
I know.
I'm having some anxiety issues. This beginning of the year is giving me a lot of anxiety issues, and I need to like plan it all out, because I can't. I'm having issues, or in the 6 days of this year, I'm having a lot of issues, and I'm thinking nothing is set for anything. So I need something I can have control over.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
All right. So that's all you're in your dreams, Gloria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now.
All right. So I don't.
Can I say one more thing? I made a knitting New Year's resolution.
Okay.
So the first one was, I'm not gonna buy those needles until I have enough Amazon points to buy them. Second is, I am knitting a garment this year.
Oh,
so
nice.
A top or a cardigan or something. But I am knitting a garment this year. Happening.
That is a good resolution.
Yes.
I think it should be pants.
There are actually 2 jogger pant patterns out right now. One by Knititude and one by Little Wolf Knits.
And Stephen West has a pair of leggings out.
No, these are like joggers. So they're like, they're like tight, there's like the tight cuff on the bottom, and they're like a little more baggy. But I don't know if I could do pants. I'm not sure I could do sleeves. I don't know if I'm doing pants. But they're both patterns are really cute. So kudos to anyone who actually knits pants, but I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they wouldn't fit. That's why I don't knit garments. Like, I feel like I'll knit it, and then I'll have like gained or lost weight by the time I'm finished with it, and then it won't fit anymore.
Well, you don't knit to pattern either, very, like, you don't knit to gauge and stuff, so
Yeah.
you gotta be more, like, I'm worried about my fit all the time, and I do gauge swatches. So
No, I don't do
without
gauge
doing
swatch.
gauge
That's
swatches,
not a
I
thing
can't
I do.
swatch it.
Yeah.
All right, can I move on to my in my dreams now?
Yes.
So I actually don't have any yarn purchases. I made purchases, they're just not here yet. So I don't have any to show off yet. But
Well, I couldn't show mine either. I just talked about them.
yeah, I know. I'll wait until mine come to show them. So what I'm doing this year, it's not really a resolution, but just something different I want to do. So I have a whole drawer full of socks, and sometimes, I can't remember what the yarn is or whatever, and I don't keep track of them on Ravelry. I really don't use Ravelry very much anymore. But I do enjoy paper journals. So I keep a bullet journal at home, like to keep track of my life and work and everything. So I was watching Crazy Sock Lady, and I think that also on the Knit Girls podcast, both of them were mentioning how they keep paper journals of their projects. So I decided I'm going to do that this year. So I got this is what I use for bullet journaling. It's called Lectern 1917 is the name of the journal, and it's like just a plain journal with, it doesn't even have grids, it just has dots, and you kind of fill it in as you go. So I am making a craft journal this year. Let's see if I can go through. So I'm keeping it super basic right now. Normally I go crazy on my bullet journals, but lately it's been so busy, it just, everything is very basic because I just don't have time. So I'm going to go month by month. So my January finished objects, and then this is my plan. We'll see if I keep up with it. So I'm putting in a little Polaroid picture of the project, a little sample of the yarn, and then I'm going to write, like, the name of the project, who I made it for, when I finished it, any little details I want to remember about it. So I
think that's very fancy. You're saying it's basic, but that's a lot of work to me.
Well, but I want a record of things. Like, I just don't have a record anymore. Like, Ravelry was great for a while, but I don't keep up with online things like that. So this will be my record. So that was my first pair of socks, and this is my second pair of socks for the year. And so now I'll have like a record of everything I make. And I can't decide whether I want to keep it to just knitting projects or any craft stuff. I don't know yet. We'll see. I might do like knitting and embroidery. I don't know. So that's my goal this year, is to kind of get a bit more, just get better about making a record of what I've made. So that's it. That's in my dreams. Outlier crafts. Gloria, any outlier crafts?
No.
Val, have you been doing anything?
I have a few. Hold on one second. I
think there's more outlier crafts than knitting.
this is why I don't have as much knitting to report, because I'm spending all of my time doing the outlier crafts.
Yeah.
So my camera's trying to adjust because I moved, and I look like some kind of weird horror show. So last time we recorded, I showed you that pile of fabric, I think. Yeah. And said how it was never going to turn into bags. Well, I decided at some point that they did need to turn into bags. So before Christmas, like a couple of days before Christmas, I made like 24 drawstring bags. This is some of them. Nice. I think Ben's birthday present was in this one. Yep. And all different shapes and sizes. We didn't decorate our house for Christmas because we weren't going to be home for Christmas. So we didn't go into the attic and get our stockings down. So our stockings were made in these bags. So then I had to make like a set of matching bags for the family to be our stockings, because that's easier than going into the attic and getting our stockings down. Yep, so I made a pile of drawstring bags. That was one of my outlier crafts. I just a little while ago, before we started recording, traced out an embroidery pattern. There you go.
Oh, very nice.
So this is a sampler from Lemon Made Shop. So I follow her on Instagram. I've purchased several of her patterns before. I think those state embroideries that I made like little kits out of for you guys, I think they were her patterns. think they were her patterns. I know she has state embroideries that I've purchased. I don't remember if it was those specific ones, but she's doing a stitch along. So she's going to like do a little instructional video on Instagram for each of the blocks in that little quilt, and then for the flowers and everything. So I thought it would just be a cute, like, community kind of a thing to do. Our mom is going to do it too. So
How long of a stitch along is it?
so it's for the month of January.
Oh, that's quick. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, really the stitches in the quilt itself are pretty basic. Like there's nothing that's like super complicated. And I think she's going to do like a square or two a day with like a video on Instagram. So I just thought it was a cute idea. So I'm doing that. So I think the first actual stitching starts tomorrow.
Okay.
But every day this month has been like, okay, here's the pattern and here's how you prep for it and here's how you trace it and stuff like that. So so that's one thing. And then the other thing I sewed was skein holders.
I forgot about you. You sent us something about it, and then I forgot to like ask you about it. So how do they work? Did we all get some? Did you make some for everyone?
I don't know. You're gonna have to get your Christmas gifts to find out. But they're perfect.
Cool.
Very nice.
So I need to get more of this fabric because now we want to make like
Stretchy?
1 million of them. What?
Is it stretchy fabric?
Yep, it's stretchy fabric. So I got this
from the chemo cap she made.
Yeah, so I got this fabric to make the chemo cap, and then I had all this extra, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I need for a skein cozy.
Did you find a pattern or did you just make it up?
I found a pattern on YouTube. It's easy enough. It's literally
it's the measurements though that I would be worried about to make it the right size for a skein.
Yeah, I think it was like, I think I started with a 7.5 inch square. And then like you fold it in half and you sew it, and that's the pattern. But yeah, I did watch a YouTube tutorial to see like how she folded, like what order she did everything in and how she folded it and where she placed the seam and stuff like that. But easy peasy. So there'll be more of these in my future.
Very cool.
But yeah, I've been doing quite a bit of sewing.
I love those skein cozy things. I love them.
Yeah. These are, mom asked for more, so I think there'll be a bunch of them made.
Yeah.
So I've been spending a lot of time embroidering. I did finish some embroidery projects that got gifted as well. So I've been doing a lot of embroidery and sewing, and that's why I don't have as much knitting to report on.
Yeah.
How about you, Julie?
I have just one thing. It was rather time consuming, but so I got for Christmas from our mom a Cricut machine. Mm-hmm. So I've been busy making Cricut projects. So this was the first one, which randomly, so we were at hockey practice the other night and we have a tournament coming up. And when the kids go on tournaments, usually like the team mom or someone will put a bag together for them of like goodies, a couple pieces of candy, a water bottle, stuff like that. Well, the team mom wanted to make these or order these things or make them or whatever to go on the kids' doors, and you hang it on the door. And that way the kids know where their friends are. So they're not knocking on all the random doors. They don't have to remember room numbers. They just have this thing on the door. So she showed it to me and I said, oh, maybe I can make it. I just got a Cricut. So this is my son's. I don't want to show anyone else's because they have people's names on them. So this will be my son's, and then it's going to be laminated, and then they string like an actual hockey skate through it, lace through it. So it's got a cool little decoration on it. So I made 16 of these for all of his teammates, and it's like
once you get a Cricut, you just go down the rabbit hole.
Oh my God,
you're Cricketing everything now.
It's a ridiculous rabbit hole, but it took really long. I didn't expect it to take that long, but like, so that especially this lace part, like I couldn't just pick up the piece of paper. So I didn't realize this, but when you're cutting the stuff out, it goes on this like sticky mat, and then you have to peel it off. So if I just like peeled this off, all of this would have ripped. So I had to dig each piece out with like this little pokey tool they have called a weeder. And I had to weed all the little bits out and then slowly peel it off. And then this is all stickers. So I had to cut out all the stickers and then like, peel the vinyl off, and just, It took a long time.
That's stickers
Yeah.
that you could do another layer. You could do
Yeah.
the cutout
Yeah,
on
I
the,
know.
yeah.
I could have
that- I
done
feel
it,
like
but
that
then it
was-
would have had to fit just in here. And this was a multi-layer piece, like a
Yeah.
file I bought. So I would have had to add this in as another layer, and I didn't know how to add on to the layer. Like,
Once
I
you
know
learn
there's
how
a
to
way
do
you-
it, that'll be easier.
I know
Yeah.
there's a way you can do it where you can make it like a cutout or something, but then I have to make
Mhm.
a new one for each kid. Whereas
Yeah.
with the names, I put them all on one piece of vinyl and cut it all at once. So I didn't have to do a different thing for each one. So anyway, so this is what kept me busy for like the last week, was getting all these done. And then I want to make now, my son, who was given for his last tournament he went to on a different team, one of the moms had a Cricut machine, and she made everyone hangers, and the hangers, like a nice wooden hanger, and it had like their number in the middle and then their name on the side. And now I want to make them for his team. So we'll
You
see.
hockey moms go like above and beyond.
The hockey moms are a little crazy. Yep. That's what we do. When you paying that much for a sport, you got to go all out for it. So I know, and it's like, it's not like a regular sport where it lasts for 3 months. It's 8-9 months out of the year. So it's our lives for a long time.
Mhm.
So that's my outlier crafts. Oh, okay. So next is On the Nightstand. I don't know what I finished since we last talked. I forgot to check Goodreads. But I did start a new one. The House in the Cerulean Sea. So I got this from Val. I picked it up at Christmas. And I am like 80 pages into it. I'm loving it so far. I just haven't had much time to sit down and read. Because I've been cricketing all night. So I've been going to bed at like 12 o'clock after playing the paper all day. So
It's your life now.
What?
It's your life now.
I hope not, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's going to be spurts. Like
You're gonna cricket everything. So
Yeah.
we have a sailboat, and I put our boat name on everything that's on the boat.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that might happen.
mhm.
So that's all I've
Everything's
got
cricket.
right now, is just that one book. I had like, since maybe a week before Christmas, I must have started and put down like 5 books because just nothing was clicking with me. I really wanted to read Station 11 because my husband wants to watch the show.
It's
And
so
then
good.
I
Both
couldn't
the
get
book and the show. So
I
good.
couldn't get into the book.
What's the show on?
HBO.
HBO.
Oh, I don't know.
I couldn't get into the book right away. It was just like, it was too real right now to want to
It's
read it.
so good. I read it like in 2016, I think.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, this will never happen.
Yeah. So right. So I was having a hard time getting into it. I was super pissed about the holiday because we wound up not being able to see the family like we wanted to because of exposures and all that kind of stuff. So I was just like, I don't want to read a book about a pandemic. I can't do it right now. So I put it down, and I started like 3 other books, and I was just like, this isn't doing it for me. So I'm starting to get into this one, and then hopefully it'll get my reading bug back going again.
Did you guys read Anxious People yet?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's on Netflix.
I
Really?
haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Like, it came out already?
Yeah.
Is it subtitled?
I think it's 8. It's not subtitled, it's dubbed.
Okay. I can do dubbed and knit. I can't do subtitles in it though.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but
I'll have
it
to
came
watch
out like that week between Christmas and New Year's or something.
Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You should read it. It's good.
No.
It's Frederick Bachman.
Along with all the other ones.
And his next
I told
book should
you
be coming out soon.
This year, it's a January 1st hit, and it was like all hell broke loose. So
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
So Gloria, what's on your nightstand?
Well, I finished. I don't know if I had started it last time we recorded. I finished One Day in December. I don't remember if I was reading that or not. If I was still reading Night Swim, because I finished Night Swim. That was very good. Again, trigger warnings for that one, but very good. I finished One Day in December. I actually read it in December. I was very proud of myself. I'm passing that on to my sister-in-law. I read another book by Josie Silver, The Two Lives of Lydia Bird.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like Two Lives of Lydia Bird. It was a little cringy for me. I thought it was a good concept, but it didn't work. It didn't work for me. One Day in December, I will say, was better. But like, I don't know, I felt like it was too long. Like there was stuff in there that didn't need to be in there, and it was just you know. And then I read The Storied Life of AJ Pickery. Amazing.
So good.
So
I
good.
like that one a lot.
It was so good. Like I didn't really understand what was going on, because he kind of like, there's these little sections interspersed like before each chapter where he's kind of like talking about a book that he likes, just like giving a review of like his favorite books. So I didn't 100% understand what was going on there until about like the middle of the book. But it was so good. I read it in like 4 days. So I'm recommending it to like everybody right now. Like everybody that I talk to that reads, I'm like, oh, you have to read this one. You have to read this one. Like,
did I hear
the
that one's
doctor
going
at
to be
work,
a movie
my
too?
friend at the gym. I was like, you gotta read it. You gotta read it.
Yeah, that's
Sending it
gonna
to
be
my
on
friend in
something.
Maryland. We've been like exchanging books. And I posted something on Instagram, and she's like, oh, thanks for the next book recommendation. I was like, I'll send it to you. Like, I was like, if you know me, you will never have to buy books again in your life. I sent her a bunch of books right before Christmas, and I'm going to send her this one too. She's going to send me some books, so we have a little book exchange going on there. But yeah, I'm telling everybody I know that reads about it. And I hear it's getting made into a movie with Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars, and one of the guys from The Big Bang Theory.
Really?
I never really watched the show, so I don't know his name. The Indian guy?
Oh, Raj Koothrappali. Okay.
I don't know. But
I don't know
he's
the actor's
AJ.
name, but
He's going to be AJ. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be perfect as that's awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be
Well,
good.
at first I had heard it was going, or I saw somewhere that the guy from Lost, with the curly dark hair, I can't remember anything right now.
I never watched Lost.
I heard he was supposed to be AJ, but then I saw the guy from Big Bang Theory is going to be AJ.
I think they would both work.
But I think the guy from Big Bang Theory is going to be great as AJ. So yes, like lighthearted but not lighthearted, but like the writing is just like, the dialogue is so like quick and snappy, and like they're so like sarcastic and funny, and like it's just amazing.
It's a great book for book lovers too.
Yes. So. And then I finished that, and I started A History of Wild Places, which was my last book of the month selection. And it's about this investigator who goes looking for a missing person and then disappears himself. And there's something about like a cult and a commune, and it's like I'm only like
souls. I'm on
yeah. I was like, that is my pick. Nobody else take it, because that's the one I'm getting. There's like this cult commune thing, and I'm like 50 something pages into it. I just got to the point where like the investigator disappeared, and then like now we're at the commune, and it's kind of like that M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Village, was it? Where it's like they can't go past the borders of like they're gonna get some like horrible disease if they go past the border, past the trees that borders the village, and so that's where I'm at. But yes, I love cults. Did you guys ever see that there's a Saturday Night Live skit where they do a song about murder shows? No. And I'm really into true crime and murder shows. And one of the Jonas Brothers was like the host that week, and all the girls on Saturday Night Live are singing about these murder shows. And then one of the Jonas Brothers is like one of the girls' boyfriends, and like he goes out for the night and she starts watching a murder show, and there's this whole like song about it. And then he comes home and he's like, "Were you watching a murder show?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, have you heard about cult shows?" Like, oh my God. Cult shows are even better than murder shows.
They are. I do love a good cult show.
So yes, A History of Wild Places if you like cults.
was one book I read that involved like conjoined twins and a cult and something else, and I was like,
yeah,
oh my
I read
God,
that
this
one
has
too.
everything. Like,
There wasn't enough cult in that one though.
yeah.
Um,
They escaped. It was like after they escaped the cult, but
Yeah.
it was still good.
all right, Val, can you do your books in 3 minutes before we get cut off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I feel like I've been talking about this forever. This is Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. I'm finally actually reading it. I wasn't doing much reading. I'm on page 241 of like 314. So I might actually finish this tonight. It's adorable. It's not like earth-shattering. It was getting such like great reviews. I thought it was going to be something like profound. It's not profound. It's just really cute and good, and I'm enjoying it. And the dog is barking now. Next up will be this, The Family by Naomi Krapinsky. So this is about like Brooklyn, I think in the 20s, and there's something about mobs. I got this a couple of months ago from Book of the Month, so it should be really good. So
I think it
I'm
was
excited.
a Jenna Bush pick, I think.
Oh, it might have been. Yeah. There's some really good books out there right now. So I need to pick up my reading because my bookshelf is going to fall down if I don't start getting things off of it. And I want to buy more
all in
books.
the same place.
Yeah, and I'm listening to a couple too, so I'll talk about them when I finish them.
That's good.
And that's
All right.
it.
I think that's all we have for today. So thank you all for listening, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.